What's up, everyone? My name is Hamza. Welcome to my channel. I wanted to share with you the vision of this channel and why we exist, right? The biggest reason I decided to launch this channel is nurse burnout. It is real. It is on the rise. There are 2+ million nurses in the US alone that feel burned out. And for me, as a pediatric ICU nurse, and a little bit about me first, is I've been building companies since 2008. It's been, what, 15 years? I mean, you can see my hair thinning. Right? But this is the thing. When I retired a couple years back from one of the companies that I built, and I went back to nursing school, became a pediatric ICU nurse because that's just what I've always wanted to do, right? But I didn't want to worry about the financial side because, let's be honest here, nurses do not get paid enough. And I've got 5 kids and I want to build generational wealth. Nursing was not going to be the way that I wanted to do it, but I still wanted to make an impact. So I built my empires first through the companies that I've built. And what I noticed very quickly was nurses were taking, not just in our hospital, I mean, you know, I'm not even going to talk any specifics, but it's a very common thing. Nurses take on extra shifts for more money, right? This ultimately will lead 100% into increases in nurse and burnout, ultimately leading, God forbid, to an unneeded patient death. The scariest thing for me is, God forbid, there's a nurse in a pediatric ICU facility anywhere, or any facility really, but specifically kids just have a special place with me when it comes to nursing care. And these families are entrusting their children's lives with us. And for them to, God forbid, get a nurse that's just absolutely exhausted because this is the 6th day in the row they've worked, and the kid only had bronchiolitis, for example, right? But as nurses, we know that kids can deteriorate very quickly if you don't catch it early on, and it can be disastrous. And because this nurse would be overworked, may have missed a very simple sign that would have been seen by a nurse on their game that is not exhausted. And God forbid, missed an opportunity to save a life. And these families trusted you. The nurses team, the ICU team trusted you. But because of your financial commitments or whatever reason it may be, you felt the need that you had to work this many days in a row. This channel is to provide an outlet to show nurses that there are other options. You have options. Okay, there are better ways to increase your financial status outside of the hospital. You don't need business experience. You just need guidance. This will be a very base level introduction, an educational format that I will be presenting to you in regards to generating income outside of the hospital, be it in your own businesses or whatever it may be. Okay, I've got 15 years of business building experience. I built companies that do 8 figures a year. I built companies that do 7 figures a year. I've also failed many times along the way, which is where you learn. It is not from my wins. It is from my failures along the way. I have crashed and burned over 30 different times in my 20s alone. I have had business partners rob me of millions of dollars and me having to crawl out of hell that took years to do because I refused to file bankruptcy for it. I have learned lessons that made me so bootstrapped that somebody with the net worth of 0 was already worth millions more than me at the time. So if you cannot come here and tell me that I can't help you with some sort of strategy, some sort of way out financially. You have a massive amount of knowledge. You just have to be shown the way to monetize that knowledge. Just like I express my knowledge in the business world. It's what I know. It's what I do. I build teams that run my companies for me. We have a 7-figure nurse mentorship that we just launched, for example, right? But I also want to make sure that the education is out there for people that may not be ready to take the dive into a mentorship that requires them to invest money. So the best thing I could do for everyone, every single nurse out there, is provide a channel and content that shows them what is possible and how to start doing it. So whatever request you have, please list it down in the comments, because the vision that I have for this company is to reduce their nurse burnout rate and allow nurses to know that you have options. You can tell an employer no. You will be able to tell them no when you know that you have options. You can say no to extra shifts. You can say no to bad working environments. You can say no to bad ratios. But it's a lot harder to do if you don't have any other options other than trying to jump into another job and go through orientation again, or relocate to an entirely other state or city or whatever it is. There are other options. You don't have to move to create a business. You can launch a business fully online. All of my businesses are online, except for one. We have a mobile IV company that's not online. It's obviously mobile, right? But you have options. That is my point. That is why this channel is here. Okay. So any request, any question you have at all, please make sure you list it in the comments and I will be sure to make content about it. Okay. My name is Hamza and I will see you on the next one.